Greetings, friends. Thank you so much for joining us for our weekly podcast, One-on-One with Jack. And this week is our special guest, Leonard O'Neill. How are you doing, my friend? So excited.
I am great. I am fabulous. I am insanely good.
Yes, absolutely.
I smile and my glasses lift up.
So happy. And this week, our topic is law of squares. I was going to say living the law of squares. Yeah, let's understand it and conceptualize it before we start explaining the living aspects of it.
So I was going to share my screen. I don't know if I can, but I can just read it off my phone.
Yeah, you should be able to. You've got just as much ability.
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can share that. Oh, I can. All right, then let me put this up on the screen here.
Awesome.
And share this. Can you see that? Yes, it's up on the screen, right? Okay. So literally, the reason I bring this up is because we're going to get into the law of squares, but to understand that you need to understand the base root ideology, because it is we're going to be talking about the substance that is everything in the universe. So this is a quote from Galileo, okay, literally using the word philosophy, which is an ancient Greek word. I didn't bring up the meaning of that, but I'll explain it the way the monk did who was teaching my introductory to philosophy class in college. Philosophy, and I've looked it up, and it's a conceptual word. It's a Greek word that goes back until at least 4,000 or 5,000 years ago, okay? And the word philosophy, you can see it on your screen, literally is a concept that means the knowledge of love, or the love of knowledge, okay? So when people associate the word philosophy, they think philosophical thought. So, well, that just means thinking about things. That's not actually what philosophy means. Philosophy literally means the knowledge of love, the love of knowledge. Okay, so literally he wrote, and you can see when he was alive, 1564 to 1642, that philosophy is written in this grand book. So he's talking about this grand book, but the philosophy is the concept of all, okay? It's written in this grand book, the universe, which stands continually open to our gaze. But the book cannot be understood unless one first learns to comprehend the language and read the letters in which it is composed. It is written in a language of mathematics, and its characters are triangles, circles, and other geometric shapes and figures, without which it is humanly impossible to understand a single word of it, referring to this entire cosmos, this universe, this book that is there for us to understand, okay? Without these, one wanders about in a dark labyrinth, okay? So I wanted to share that because that concept literally goes back to the 1500s, you can see, okay? And that goes back to the conceptual ideology of what philosophy is, goes back to the oldest that we have in history is the Greeks. And that literally is a concept of the knowledge of the universe and the understanding of the universe itself. And they use that word that was associated with the logos, which is a word that comes from the Greek that means love. That means the word of God, or the creation of the Godhead. So literally what we're going to be talking about is the law of squares, and that's going to be about all of that. And it encompasses not just your personality and your soul, but it's going to encompass, and it does literally encompass everything. It is in everything. It is the building blocks of everything. Nothing, me, you, this computer, the airwaves, the planet, the universe, all of that exists because of the exact same combination of mathematical equations that make up this entire substance that we think is a reality. And this is what we're going to delve into and talk about today.
Yes. Thank you, my friend.
So let me stop sharing this because we no longer need that up on the screen.
Awesome. Right? Thank you for sharing that. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat there, and we'll be happy to answer them either at the end of the show, or we'll come back to it and answer any and all questions that you may have. So, my friend, living, being alive. The law of squares, right, seems like it's a very large conception for most humans to understand, let alone understand. that the
Right.
universe or multiverses are within us all. And we've been conditioned to believe elsewise, or
Yes.
just remembering, right?
Yep.
These cosmos is within us. How do you find that one, or the collective as a whole, can find that conscious connection of that wisdom of love, and that loving of knowledge, not self-knowledge,
Right.
whole knowledge within the multiverse or the universe?
It's actually easier than you think, but harder than you think. I was literally writing about that today in my book. I was, which is weird. I didn't realize you were going to go down this road, but I think that was kind of where I went with the book because of this concept.
Yeah.
And so I was literally today earlier while I was waiting for you, right? We were talking. Remember, I told you I'm just writing.
Yeah.
I was writing about that. To literally get into the idea of, or the understanding of the infinite idea, infinite wisdom, infinite love, infinite harmony, the infinity itself. You have to change your entire way of thinking.
The structure.
And, yeah, the entire structure. Jacqueline was right when she said that, how is it that you can do this? To do this is a quote that I love to use. It comes from this movie that came out in I think it was the 90s or the late 90s or mid 90s, called Willow. And when they did the commercial for Willow, one of the first things they said was, you have to unlearn everything that you have learned.
Deconstruct it all.
Yeah, and that is literally what you have to attempt to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm writing about in my book, to assist with that. And I know that Jacqueline is as well, because she's also writing many books. And I know we've talked about this off air. So I know what she's writing about as well, which is the same concept. That's why we're doing this show now. This is like the precursor for you guys out there on the basics. We're trying to cover that now, because we're going to be hitting you in the next year or two with books or we're going to be touring the world explaining to you guys. So you guys are going to have these shows that we do in the interim, and you're going to be going, wow, well, you know what? They were giving us this information way back then, right? Wow, I know it's in their book. Okay, so literally everything in this place is designed to keep you from contemplating that knowledge that we're talking about. This entire scenario that you think is reality is an illusion, and its job, along with your physical body, this pain body, this construct, and your ego, is designed to keep you thinking that this boxed in thing is reality. And then you have external hard drives. I use that term because we were just talking about that. And I use that term primarily the internet, television, movie, programming. It's called programming for a reason. They're all external hard drives or external egos. And those egos are teaching you the same thing, the concept of this box you're squared into, and to be stuck here. And I use the term square loosely because we are talking about the power of squares.
Yes.
And so that is literally an expansion, not locked into a box. A box is a cube, but so is the expansion of dimension. So they're using all the terms that we need to use to help you to learn this, to lock you into this place by reversing what they mean, to get you all and that's what's programmed into everything here. So you have to literally take a look at the universe from an outside perspective, of not seeing through your eyes and thinking this is all there is, and that I have one life, because that's what they want you to believe. They don't want you knowing anything beyond that. And we're trying to expand your consciousness to get you to see this other picture that's there. So I can say it, and it is kind of a weird concept. I don't need my glasses on unless I'm reading something. And so all I can see is the reflection on my eyes from the computer screen. So literally what you have to do is unlearn everything that you've learned. You have to see everything here as almost a lie completely, and definitely as an illusion and a distraction to keep you from learning anything. Am I wrong on that? What do you think?
I totally agree. I just find lately that we signed up for this, right? Yes. And it's not that we signed up for a lie. We signed up to be in a bioholographic universe as the conscious connection of God's source energy. If you call it Sophia, Buddha, Christ, whichever that is. Yeah. Yeah. And as we deconstruct the shapes, if it's a triangle, a circle, a square, a rectangle, any square symbol or shape we want to use, right?
Right.
What's happening is then you're innately giving the connection to your innate infinite intelligence and allowing the structure to be reconstructed, so then you can see yourself as a sovereign being rather than enslaved into a matrix that is this false paradigm in reality that we've been literally silver spooned, right? Silver platter, gold platter. Here,
Yep.
take this fear. Drink up, right?
Yep.
Take this shit.
Eat
We're
this
gonna,
beer, drink this. It
yeah,
tastes good. That's beer
right?
too, by the way.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
breathe it in.
Or breathe it in. Yeah.
And then you get to the point where you're like, okay, so if you're putting all these metals and these crap, whatever it is, wherever it is, you can then have that innate knowingness or connection, because we all have it. And I want to start crying because it's so beautiful.
Right.
That you can instruct to be like, okay, what is for my best and greatest good? And you'll find that garden within your mind will become that one universal plug-in, so to say, for everything. And then you have no mind whatsoever, and you still sometimes have thoughts, but it's a collective soup. I like to call it the social memory complex that Ra talks about. And in that social memory complex, you can understand, yes, you're a singularity, yet you are the whole of the singularities. So when we understand that we're the whole of the singularities, we can then understand through the bioholographic universe within us that this construct of this body, so to say, or this microphone or this camera or Leo and the computer and all that is just another screen or film or intervals to help you understand and remember who you are. And it's not something that's surface. It is to the core of your beingness. So it's not something you can be like, oh, I think I'm connected. It's like, you are connected if you're listening to this live stream. It's how deep do you want to go to create this solid, unshakable, unbreakable connection with Gaia, right? This planet. And when we completely root into the core of who we are and root into the source of who we are, not the surface stuff. I'm talking about the source before you took your first breath, before any lifetimes, all lifetimes, any multiverses, that direct sync with who you are. I'm getting so excited. I just want to jump out of my seat.
I know, right? Go.
And know to your heart of hearts, and no matter if you're in this construct or this octave, whatever energy you want to say it is, if it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to infinite and keep going, what happens is you are that direct source. There's nothing that can take you from it. You can box yourself in, you can have the fog, so to say, because you're not listening to that inner guidance and that natural essence within your heart space that's always talking to you, always, every time. It's up to you whether or not you're going to listen to it. And in that great, I call it the sacred heart of all life. It's like this connection with all lifetimes and all realities, all family, everybody, and it's like, I center in this point. Because for the longest time, I used to center here in the one universal mind, and it was like, no, one universal heart. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's one of the misconceptions, that people think that, that you're here, because the third eye is there. So this is where I am, my soul. It's not. This is where the thought process happens for this body, and the consciousness expands. But the truth is, your consciousness is in the heart. Every time. This has been proven by science. The people that are not fringe, the scientists have proven that the energy that comes off of the human heart is 10 times, 15 times, I think they said up to 30 times more powerful than the energy that comes off of your brain. Okay. So literally they are realizing that the human soul resides in that place, that is heart, that is love, not in the mind. And why is that? When your first expansion of consciousness goes to mind, that's literally, if you look at the old adage from the Greeks, I think, therefore I am, their concept of the word think meant I exist, not I have thought. We today have that separated to where when we say the word think, that means I have a thought. So that is what they use against you for your programming, because they, well, I think, therefore I am. That's just thinking. That's a thought that's in your mind. And so that's how they try to tell you that you don't exist outside of the flesh of this brain that they can pull out of your head when you're deceased. But when you do that, you can't find the person that was in there. There's no place where you can tangibly discover them in any way. And they're like, well, that's just because you haven't gotten to be able to download it into a computer yet.
Right.
And that's what the wink, wink. That's what they I should do that in quotes, because the reason they say that is because they're creating AI and they're hoping to be able to figure that out.
Yeah,
and that's what they're trying to figure out for the universe, to hack the universe. They think, if I can recreate the human soul, then then there is no God, because we can become God. That is what truly what they're about to do. And trying to do
the God source
AI.
particle.
It's not going to ever happen because it can't. They don't know
it's
that.
It's artificial.
It's artificial. They don't know that. They were created just like evil was only created to serve, and your ego was only created to serve for a certain time, until you realized it. And the first step in avoiding a trap is knowing of its existence, and then you rise above it. So the truth is that AI can only exist in this place, and they're stuck here. Right. And so let's go back really quickly, because we kind of skipped over. Jacqueline said, we signed on for this.
We did.
Why? Why are we here? Are we slaves? Because that's the narrative they're preaching to you now.
Yeah.
Some aliens came down here and created the human race, and you're stuck here, and they stole your soul from somewhere. Weird that they'll admit there's a soul when they need to say you're a slave. They'll all of a sudden say, oh yeah, you do have an immortal soul, but then there's these machines that capture your soul, and they knock your soul out, and they put you back in a body. And so that's what's happening to you. That's the narrative that the ancient aliens people, and trust me, I know them all and I'm friends with all of them. That's the narrative they're pushing to you right now, is that we were created by an alien race, and that there's these devices that are out there that capture your soul, and don't go into the light when you die, because it's just, the light is to knock your soul out. And I'm like, well, how do you know that if your soul gets knocked out? How are you aware of that then? Well, because some people don't get all the way knocked out. Okay, that's weird, because some people don't get all the way knocked out, and they say that's not how any of that works.
Yeah.
And that there's something completely different that happens, and that, there's these secret people that tell you you're on a secret mission. And I'm like, okay, so wait, is that, oh no, that's part of the bad guys. And I'm like, oh, so everything is the bad guys. Here's what's going on, okay? You are signed on to do this because what is the function of this place? I love when they asked Edgar Tolle that question. His answer was similar to the answer that a guy gave on Fox News yesterday. Where he's over here in Oakland, California, which is about 75 miles south, and he started a church of a religion around mushrooms. And so the psilocybin that's in the mushrooms gives people a ayahuasca, DMT, a psilocybin trip. So he said he saw God. He went through, he took this stuff, and he went through heaven, he went through hell, he went to the beginning of the universe, he became one with the creator, didn't want to leave, but had to come back. And when they explained to him what was going on, I use the vernacular they, because it's the universe is the collective of all of this. Mm-hmm. He explained it the same way. So what did you see? The announcer asked him, and he said, what did you learn? And he said that all of this is a construct inside the mind of the creator itself. Mm-hmm. And the creator itself is doing this to realize itself in this place, because the creator is infinite and is immortal. And this place was created so that the creator could separate itself into everything. Me, you, the rocks, the trees, this chair, this shirt, the stuff behind me, this computer is all the creator.
Yes.
And it's experiencing, we are all experiencing all of this because we can't live. We created life. So we literally created the universe in our mind, and we're in there, separated into all these individual trillions and trillions and however particles, and we're literally, everything is independent. Every particle, every cell is an independent little teeny universe within me. And we did all this so that we could do this and be and experience.
And I find it's not just creator, it's creatrix or creatress. Because we've been in a binary system for so long. That's why we've had the male female. Then that way they can intersync with each other or create a synergy to then create a third energy. So then we were creating like a singular energy, and now we have dual energy, and now we're creating a third, or a trinity of energies. And I
Yes.
find within that trinity of energies, it's like, whoa. So if I'm a finite and I'm the God self and I'm the universal self, what version do I want to be? You know? I don't want
Right.
to be that finite version, because then I'm just constructed by my mind or this body, right? This body field matrix. And it's like, no, 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 no. There's so many body, or so many field systems in the body. You got the
Right.
mind, the body, the ethereal, the astral, the universal, the so on and so forth. And each part of it has such a vital point in direction, especially in the years to come. After everything we've been through in the last, let's just say 10 years, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just say 10 years, right?
Yeah.
I could go 20, 30, but we'll stick
You
in
can say
this.
70,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
150,000,
It's
whatever. Yeah.
all the same pattern,
It's all relative.
right? So
Cyclical.
yeah, this pattern. So as humanity, we've been in the same pattern sequence where now we're coming to a breakthrough moment as a society, as humans, humankind, or
Yeah.
all species in general, where we're
Yeah.
coming into unification with our patterns in our body structure, in our mind structure, in our spiritual structure, even if you don't even believe in spirituality, in
Right.
your structure, right?
Yep.
This beautiful heaven on earth within us all, right? Like
Yep.
all of us have
Yep.
these dubious luxuries of being conscious, blissful in these bodies, experiencing this aliveness. And what I've really understood lately, it's like, if one moment is a fractal in another moment, and another moment is all proceeding now, it's like, so why am I going to worry about stuff from 3 days ago or 2 weeks from now when it has no equation to my field today? Seriously. And even like, that's what I'm learning lately. I'm like, wow, we're really responsible. We're taking that accountability and ownership of
Yep.
our own energies, not your energies, not anybody else's energies, our own energies. And that's what's the most important thing for humanity. Are you going to feed the fear, or are
Right.
you going to dismantle it with love
Right.
and
Absolutely.
reconstruct with unconditional love?
Right.
Right?
And you know what Mahatma Gandhi said, hashtag, we use the hashtag now, but Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you wish to
Yeah.
see in the world.
Yeah.
And
Because it all starts.
that's literally what Jacqueline just was saying, that
Yeah.
being aware of your own energy and your responsibility, and taking control and taking responsibility for your own energy. And I just was teaching this earlier today and typing that in my book, because one of my students said, I had a psychic was telling me about me in a past life, and being sort of blue purplish, and I was trying to figure that out. And I said, well, here, see, there's the lesson from that Yoda was trying to teach Luke Skywalker for his entire existence. Took him 30 years to get the point across to him. But the point of that reoccurring in that was the lesson that we are supposed to be learning. We spend so much time either locked into the here and now because I'm consuming and I want money and I want power and I want to have clicks online and I want to be an influencer and I need the fame and I need fortune and I need all of those things that is the dark side, all those things that is keeping you in this reality. Or we stand around going worrying, like Jacqueline was saying, what happened 3 days ago? Did I do that right? What is it? What do I have to, and then what's going on in the future and what do I have to do? And the entire time you're not being in the now.
Mhm.
And then that gets confusing because people say, okay, so that I should be in the now and I should be focused on the now. And then they shirk their responsibilities of anything else and go carefree like a child. And that's the wrong now being focused on that we're referring to. Because the only way that you can fix yourself is to be present in this moment. Don't worry about the past. It's already done. This is what Jacqueline was just saying. Don't worry about the past. It's done. You already did those things. You can't change them. You can now only adjust. If I did something wrong back there, I can fix it now. I can't fix it then. So why am I worried about it? I should just be paying attention to the past because that tells me how to not mess up in the future. That's why we need to look at history and not erase it. So then you also don't go, oh, I'm so worried what's going to happen tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's going to get here when it gets here. So be aware of it, know and plan for it, but don't be obsessed with that and not pay attention to what you're doing now. And that was what Yoda kept saying about Luke. He's always looking to the future. He's never on what he's doing, never on where he is now. And those were, I mean, that's not exactly verbatim for what he said, but that was the concept of what he said. I think he said it backwards because Yoda talked backwards, right? But the point is to have the realization, this is what Jacqueline was saying, have the realization of and expand your consciousness to infinite you. And then don't be concerned constantly with infinite you, because you're going to get there because you already are there. So to realize I'm already there, I'm already back there, I'm already in the future, and I'm now, right? And
All
if you
of
do
it.
that and you realize all of that, it becomes easier and simpler for you to manifest what you want, fix what you did wrong, or what you wish you did differently, because you have it all now.
Well, what I find manifestation is a vibrational countenance of what is already in your vortex. And there is so much in there for all lifetimes. And when we just let go of the thought of wanting this or wanting that or any of that stuff, and just realize you're magnetizing it with the way you feel and the vibration that you're holding your energies to, I find it's like effortless. Like, I don't know, I'll give you an example. Someone's like, water, water, water. I didn't know. I just know at one point they said water, and I'm doing my own thing, blah, 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 doing stuff. And it's like, oh, water, go bring that person water. And next thing you know, they're like, I was saying it, my mind's art. And I'm like, well, here's some fresh water, you know?
Some fresh water,
yeah, like, because what I've learned lately too, especially like in this expanded sort of understanding and conceptualization, is we are all of this water, all of the ocean, cosmic ocean is all us. And then we're all the sand too. We're all of it mixed into one. We're the clay, the rocks, the sand, the particles, the atoms, the neurons, the protons, everything. We're all of it. The clouds, we're everything in this sequence. And with the patterns, I've noticed with the law of squares especially, is you get to a certain pattern, right? You go here, 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 pattern, right? And then you close off that sort of octave. And then you get to a new pattern in octave, and you're like, oh, I don't like this one. I don't like this one.
It vibrates different.
And you're like trying to go, and then you finally, it clicks, and you're like, okay, next. And then it takes a little bit to click some more, and then it clicks, or vice versa. It's like click, 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 like trying to, and then it clicks. And another thing too is, personally, this is my own personal story. Sorry, I keep getting these things dropping on me. Is every time, I'm losing it. Every time the sequence happens, new things kind of dismantle themselves or reconstruct themselves just by simply acknowledging it and stating it to the universe of what it is that you're asking for, right? Like if you're asking for a new house, if you're going to keep having the same belief system, well, I don't deserve this new house, well, you're going to keep getting the same results. If you're asking for a new house, just get in the vibrational countenance that the universe is going to bring you a house. Start packing those boxes, start moving around some energy, get rid of the stuff you don't want to move with. Start putting that preparation there, because the universe has already prepared you to have that thought to want to move. And I'm like, whoa, mind blown. I'm like, okay, I want this beautiful, nice, shiny chateau and castle. And it's like, I'm laughing at myself because I'm like, these thoughts are coming in. I'm like, oh, it's not just for me, it's for all of us.
Right. You know, I was in retail manager for 12 years, and in management school, we would teach other managers how to manifest themselves in the job.
Yeah.
We would literally say, you know, if you're in a job and you want to get a promotion, you can't just say, I want to get a promotion. And then, because what happens is the same thing. You start going, well, do I deserve that? Am I worthy of that? Do they know that? What do I have to do for that? What you do is you start acting the part. I am that person already.
Yes.
They're going to see that I am capable of doing it because I'm already starting to do it. And then they're going to say, do you want to do that? And, well, of course I do. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. So that's a form of manifestation that we would teach in the management schools and I've done this for over 30 years, 35, 36 years in spell casting, intentions, and things like that, with the law of attraction, that you have to, just like Jacqueline was saying, you have to conceptualize the concept in your mind, not like she said, I want a house, I need a house, I want to move. The wanting is the same. You're looking into the future and you're not seeing yourself in that future. You're seeing yourself wanting and needing that future,
or if you already
never
see
actually
yourself
in it. Yeah, you're not in it. So you have to put yourself in that and see yourself there. I'm going to be in this place. No, that's still wrong. I am. I will. And what do I have to do? Like she said, you start preparing yourself. If you're serious and you're going to move and you want to move, then you start cleaning out your house of things you don't want anymore, that you don't want to take with you. Just like Jacqueline said, you have to manifest it in the now so that it can manifest in the future. When you get to that future, it'll be now.
And also too, when you're saying this preparation, we were prepared to come here, right? We weren't just, there you go. We're not helping you. You got to fend for yourself.
That didn't happen.
It doesn't work like that. We have ascended masters that we can work with. We have archangels, we have councils, we have coalitions. There is like the whole entourage, the omnidirectional, omnipotent that are at every step of the way. You ask for help, it is provided for you. If you want a certain mentorship or guidance, it shows up. No matter, even this is what I'm learning lately. If your vibrational is saying it, your vibration, right?
Yeah.
This, that, da 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 da, and you have fun with it, and you're playful with it. Oh my goodness, right? I have new friends all the time that show up. I'm like, what's up? And they're soul family. And I'm like, I know you. And I haven't actually hugged you, but I've already hugged you, you know? And it's like, it's so exciting because it's like, wow, this is good. You know, it's like you start getting those sequences and those patterns become more of the highest and greatest good for your journey, because you have been prepared enough with your creative intelligence that you don't need anything artificial to kind of play in this creating or co-creating. It's all through your own structures.
Right. And you know, that the whole, and it's all your intention. We always tell people intention. Because the truth is, if you listen to, like, Paul Abdul made that song that was from the quote from the our ideology of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And if you have that mindset, that's what's going to be your life. Every time I try to get ahead, I end up going back. And that is you telling the universe that that's what you're manifesting, because that's what you believe is going to happen to you. So you have to have a positive outlook. You have to, and that's the secret. If you guys go back to the 90s, they came out with this entire process called The Secret. And what they were teaching in that was to clean out all the negative affirmations from your brain and replace them with positive affirmations. That is the truth. That was a great precursor to what we're going to be bringing to you guys in the 2000s. Because truthfully, anyone who's ever read The Secret and knew that concept will be really ready for our ideology that we're going through nowadays with this entire movement worldwide. To expand on that, literally, you have to remember to wipe all of the negative. And we do things to ourselves that they programmed us with our entire lives that we really don't even pay attention to. My ex-wife, one of the things that we had to work on with her, and she knew this at the time, and then and still was working on it, was that she always was demeaned by her father. And her father, I mean, he was a great man, but when I was a kid, we called him "God damn it, Jim," because every word that whatever sentence that he started with "God damn it," and then somebody's name. He was always never started his conversation with unless it was adults, with "Hi, how are you doing?" He would look at his wife and he would go, "God damn it, Cheryl." He'd look at his daughter, who was my wife, "God damn it, Melissa." And that was literally, so we called him, because there was like 5 guys named Jim that were in our circle of friends of my family. No joke. It was the same thing with Mike when I was growing up. We used to go somewhere with my buddy Paul, and I'd go, "I'm Leo, this is Paul, and they're Mike." Not a joke. There was like 4 of them. all had nicknames for each one, but they were all named Mike. So there was all these Jims, and we gave a nickname to each one. So my father-in-law became God damn it, Jim, because that's the way he spoke. So she would say that about herself when she did something on accident and spilled something. She would actually say out loud to herself, "God damn it, Melissa." And I'm like, "What are you doing? Why are you saying that? Why are you being that way?" I didn't have that happen. My father was completely opposite. My father was, if you spilled milk at the kitchen table or the dining room table, he didn't yell at you and hit you and scream at you. And he literally, his reaction was, whoop, whoop, look out, look out. And he would start cleaning it up. And then he would be like, "You're okay, you're all right. Hold on, let me grab a towel." And then they would come back and clean it all up. And then he would be like, "You're fine, you're okay." And that was what I grew up with. So I didn't grow up with somebody who would get mad when you did something and scold you for doing that. I got lucky. Our whole family was lucky that way. But a lot of people aren't having that happen. You guys out there in the world didn't, because your parents didn't. And that's just what happens, and it perpetuates itself, and we become what our parents were, and we act that way towards one another. We have to break those chains, is my point of all of that. And so I was helping her and other people. And my point of that was that I literally today had one of my students say, well, I did this reading and they were telling me about my past, and she said that I was this being from another past, and she's trying to figure this out. And I said, what you have to realize is that, first of all, we are all of that. We're everything. But to center on and focus on and try and figure out, who was I in a past life? What did I do back then? Was I somebody important? Where did I exist? Was I existing off world as an alien or something else? Is just the same as being here and going, what did I do when I was 10? Did I